Wow, what a game. One of the best semifinal games in a very long time. Congratulations to Inter Milan. They came through. Barcelona did not come through. It's the dreams of treble. It's pretty much over, right? The Champions League is a cornerstone of having a treble, but it looks like it's not happening. They still have La Liga going, and that's very important at this point to really win it, right? And as a fan, I would say this is probably one of the worst losses in a while. Simply not even the fact that we lost to Inter Milan, is that the way we lost. This was a game where Inter came home to Olympiaco and they scored 3 goals on us. And we managed some way, somehow to really come back. Every time they got ahead, they scored 2 goals on us. We came back with 2 more goals and eventually we tied with 3 goals. But every time we had to fight from the back. That's what was going on at the first leg. So you're thinking, this is an Inter Milan team that you don't really consider them being a goal scoring team. They're more defensive than anything else, but they proved all of us wrong, that in the first leg. And they scored 3 goals at Barcelona's home. Now, the fact that Barcelona came back with the 3 goals as well, you're thinking, there's a lot of people complaining about the fact that they took away advantage goal. This really hurts Inter in a way. But like I said, Barcelona's never had a good run when it comes to away games in the Champions League. For me, I always want to have the first leg of the game when it comes to Champions League at the opponent's home. At least then you can get a feel. And then on the way back when you're at home, that's also just a little advantage because you already know how your opponent plays. You got a feel for them already. And the fact that when you're at home, you just have the crowd on your side, and home advantage is a thing. Like, it's a real thing. So going back to the second leg, you're still thinking that the fact that Barcelona can come back with 3-0, maybe they've learned their lesson to not let Inter Milan score 3 goals. Going back to their home, you expect Barcelona's going to score a goal. It's just that, can you stop from Inter scoring 3 more goals on you? And unfortunately, Barcelona could not do that. So on the way back home, and there was a lot of speculation about Martinez not being able to play, Benjamin not able to play. At the last minute, Martinez finally came in the team. For us, we had a big blow in the first leg, having Koundé out. And then we were hoping the Blade would be back fit. He wasn't fit. Lewandowski, same thing. We thought he would be back fit. He was not fit at all. So really on the second leg, the lineup was about the same as the first leg, right? Inter Milan, same lineup. Barcelona, same lineup. And the game kind of started about the same. At the 21st minute, Inter Milan gets their first goal. And then this is where this whole season we were talking about this high line that eventually someone was going to, take advantage. And Inter Milan was the last people I thought they were going to do. But yes, Inter Milan was the first team to take advantage of them. Take advantage of the high line. At least for the first 2 goals, I would say. Now, if you're going to play a high line like this, it's a high risk, high reward plan, right? And if it's executed right, they've been doing the whole season. They've been getting crazy amount of goals. But on the other side, if you make a slightest mistake, you will get punished. And at this stage of the Champions League, you can't make any kind of mistakes. You have to be absolutely prestige. The smallest mistake you make, the smallest chances you miss, it's going to come and bite you in the butt. This is kind of what happened. So Inter gets the first goal. It's still Barcelona didn't change their style. Now the problem in the whole first half, really Barcelona was not solid enough. They were having problems controlling the ball, passing the ball, or there was a lot of mishap. There was not too much focus on Lamar as it should have been. And they kept making this mistake, and then eventually on the second goal was a penalty. And now the penalty came from Kubasi making a tackle. And this is another criticism to Barcelona's back line, is that players like Kubasi, they're still young. The kid is like under 18. He still has to learn when to tackle, when not to tackle. I thought he had more time to make that tackle as early as he did. So VAR is called, he reviews the penalty, and it was a penalty. It was a clear penalty. He didn't touch the ball at all. All he got was the foot. Right, so it's a penalty. They score the penalty. Now we were talking about 2 points down, and the second goal literally came at the 45 minutes of the game. Right, so they score the goal. They're up 2-0 on the first half. So coming back in the second half, you're thinking, are they going to make any kind of changes? Barcelona doesn't make any changes at all. They stick with the same lineup. And really on the second half, they really woke up. They were pressing a lot more. They were onto the ball a lot more as well. And then they also focused on Lamar a little bit more, right? And as the game is going on, the most unlikely person came out of nowhere and helped assist, and unlikely person scored a goal. Martin crosses the ball, and Eric Garcia, of all people, scores a goal. So now we're 1 goal back, okay? It's 2-1, and you can feel the enthusiasm. You're like, okay, there's a possibility we're going to come back. Same situation as the first leg. 6 minutes later, we get the second goal. Okay, again, same thing. Martin crosses it in there, and then we get Dani Olmo came out of nowhere, scores the goal. Dani Olmo, somebody's been quiet. He hasn't been his best self on the first leg. So this was a very much a boost to not just him, but to us as well. You can't always depend on Lamar or Rafinha to score a goal. We have Lewandowski still out. I actually thought he was going to start the game, but he didn't start the game. And when you're having a campaign like this to win a treble, you have to be a unit. You can't just depend on one or two players. Everybody has to have a moment of their own. And that's what it looked like. It looked like it was one of those games where everybody was going to have a moment of their own. Now, you've seen the two left and right wing. They're both having a moment of their own, scoring and assisting both of the goals, right? So, and also previously after that, the fact that Koundé left, I thought there was a lot to desire, of him not being there. But Eric Garcia is obviously, he was fine. But again, here's the negative aspect of it is that when you have somebody like Koundé, now the football aspect of it is just a little bit different. The choice making is the last stretch of the football games. From a skillful point, Eric Garcia hold his own, but when it comes to choice making, it's just that. It's literally the margin what we're talking about. So Eric Garcia had a clear goal, and he absolutely misses it. You can say the goalkeeper was outstanding for Yang Sommer was amazing. I mean, I think he was the man of the match, and he deserved it completely, right? We're talking about a game where Barcelona had 10 shots on target. They had 22 shots, and 10 of them were on target. Okay? Inter Milan had 13 shots, only 7 on target. They had only 7 goals on target, and they scored 4 goals out of that. What does that tell you? It tells you that Inter Milan, for them, that they weren't getting too many chances, but every chances they got, they took it. I mean, they were just a lot more prestige, a lot more clear, a lot more mature about their choice making. That's really what it shows. So when they missed that third goal when Eric Garcia should have scored, you can feel that, man, this is not good. The more chances you miss, the more the other team gets boldened to really go all out. So as the game is going, we're at the 87 minutes of the game, right? And Rafinha scores a goal. All right, we're done here. That's what you're thinking. We're done here. It's been very hard to break through this team, but finally we did it. It's over. 73 minutes. We're done here. Job is done. But it was nothing but that. Now, somebody I want to very much criticize is going to be Martin and also Araujo. Anyway, before we get to the Araujo big mistake, Martinez had to leave the game because he got a yellow card. In my opinion, I wish Martinez just should have finished the whole game. You know what I'm saying? I think he should have just finished the whole game. At this point of the tournament, like I said, it's all about the margin. The choice making is the biggest factor of going to the final of the Champions League. These are young players. I believe none of them went to the semifinal of the Champions League ever. So going back, Rafinha scores. We're thinking it's over. We're done. Finally, we're ahead. This is the first time in the league where Barcelona are ahead by aggregate, right? We're at the 90 minute of the game. All the Barcelona has to do is just defend this right, and we're good. We're fine. We're golden. But that's not what they do. Now, Kubasi, the way that header that came up, the way Kubasi headed the ball was just immature. Again, he just needs more time, more experience, just to know how to clear the ball out of the way. Okay? Not just that. Again, Martin again. Obviously, I think that was a clear foul. I don't know how again, this has been a year where big calls were not called towards our advantage. It was been going against us, okay? And that's just part of the game, really. So Dunphy blocked Martin from reaching the ball, and he hits his leg. He didn't even get any of the ball, but Martin gets the ball, okay? And then he tumbles over, right? And you're thinking it's a foul. And Martin himself on the ground thinking that it's going to be called a foul. It's not being called a foul. So he gets up. Dunphy takes the ball to the corner and crosses in. And were you expecting Araujo, of all people with energy, he just came in to be in front of his guy. He doesn't. And Inter Milan gets the goal at the 90 minute, and now we go to extra time. And at this point, you can feel that it's not going great. Barcelona's a team that usually do that to other teams. Nobody usually does that to Barcelona, right? At this point, they scored 3 goals, and Inter Milan's out here answering them back. So extra time start with the 99 minute of the game, right? And Araujo, and Martinez again. Anyway, so Turan takes Araujo for a ride, and he's flipping him back and forth. Apparently, Araujo forgot how to tackle, how to really stop a player, right? So Martin comes to try to help him out, and Martin just following around. He's not doing anything as well. The ball comes through his leg. David just kind of dummies the ball, making it seem like he's going to shoot, stops the ball, And then a great goal. Great goal. At this point, it's 4-3. You can kind of feel that it's pretty much over. So even when they scored the goal, there were times where Lamar had so many chances that he couldn't score. I mean, I'm not gonna say he was great. He's one of Barcelona's best player in this game. But nevertheless, one thing in his game that needs to improve, and I think it will improve. He's still very young. This is like his first solid season. I think it will improve is that his goal scoring ability. Now, this game could have completely been done before even the extra time started. When he had a clear chance and he shot the ball and hit the post. Another one was when they tied the game and it was like, I mean, if he would have scored that, it would have been over. Like that, the ref was going to call the game right and then. And so a through ball from Rafinha comes to him, and it's just that he thought he didn't have enough time, and he had all the time in the world, really. If he would have just taken one touch, he could have done it. But, like I said, there's a lot of ifs of this game. He toe pokes the ball, and the goalkeeper, obviously, it was a pretty easy save, right? But really, it's just those small margin chances that they really have. And I think it's just going to take time with maturity for them to really air that out. I was like, Inter deserved it. If they come out of this clear, I mean, it's pretty much deserved. Like, there's nothing else you can do at this point, right? And as the game went on, Inter did what they're really good at, and they just stayed in their box. As the game ran down, Barcelona tried to attack even more, putting in more attacking players, but it didn't work out. Barcelona are out of the Champions League. Inter Milan are going to the final. This wasn't the season, but this is a great experience for these young players. They really needed this, and they have a lot of time to really come through. This was a game where we just missed our two backs. Our left back, our right back are both gone. And then you had Lewandowski out for both the legs. So that really hurt us. Torres, I forgot he was even in the game. I don't think he did anything at all. I don't know what he have done. You know what I mean? So anyway, congratulations to Inter Milan. They well deserved it. Like, they deserve to go in the final. This is a team this is a team that has talent and experience. Dumfries, again, he came through with the goals. Like, he's been one of the best players in this both leg as well, But this one game, you have to give it the goalkeeper. Yann Somers has been outstanding. Outstanding. Congratulations to him. And congratulations to Inter. They well deserved. Anyway, that's it.